Welcome back into the Sports Source, this segment of our show, brought to you by Phil Cobble Fine Homes and Land. And talk about owning a piece of Americana. Check this out. On Saturday the 14th, 136 acres will be sold at auction in 14 estate-sized home sites, 5 to 28 acres each, country cottage on this land, stocked lakes on this land, oak barns. Get ahead of the pack. Get a leg up on everybody else. The auction's May 14th, but you should call Phil Cobble Fine Homes and Land this week to learn more. Go to philcobblehomes.com or call Phil. You see the number, 675-7000 for those of you in the 865 area code. All right. Gentlemen, the 10-team Big 12 is now considering expansion again. A study showed the league would have a better shot at reaching the playoffs every year. They've made it 1 out of 2 years. It's not like they've been shut out twice. But anyway, they had a study done. Would we be better off getting in every year if we had a championship game and we had at least a 12-team league split into 2 divisions? And the answer was yes. Well, Commissioner Bob Bowlesby, and this seems like the bigger issue to me, he's come out and said, playoff or not, if we don't do something within 10 years, we're going to be so far behind the SEC and the Big Ten, it's not going to be funny. And I think everybody's going to wind up behind the SEC and the Big Ten, but that is a consideration. Now, the Big 12 needs 8 out of 10 schools to agree. Texas, most likely, is not interested in expanding because they don't want to lose the Longhorn Network. And interestingly, Texas Tech and TCU, also in that league, tend to follow Texas's lead. So Big 12 might not have, it looks like, get ready for another war between Texas and everybody else in the Big 12, basically. Let's throw all that backstory out now that you know the situation. Memphis is campaigning. They've already sent information to Texas, to Oklahoma, to the Big 12 commissioner. They want in the Big 12 if it expands. Let's say the Big 12 does expand. Their options are limited. BYU, Boise State, Cincinnati, Connecticut, maybe some Central Florida. Memphis makes sense. If they got Memphis, from a football perspective, how big of an issue for Tennessee?
I don't think it's much at all, to tell you the truth.
Wrong.
I don't know how much you're going to be recruiting there. I don't think it's that for Tennessee football. I think Memphis, go ahead, go. Good luck.
I don't totally disagree.
What?
I go 180 because I think once you let the Big 10 or 12, let me see, they got 10, but they call themselves 12. If you let them into the state, I think it doesn't just mean Memphis recruits. I think now all of a sudden, do they start edging their way east, and now you're battling them all the way over to Nashville too for recruits. I just don't think that the University of Tennessee needs the Big 12 inside the state. And I'll tell you what, Memphis is talking about it. And I know TV's what pushes everything, but if you were just looking at from athletically, heck, Middle Tennessee State's the biggest school in the state right now.
That's not going to make
nobody
knows
wants them. I agree with that, but I'm just saying I would not
Chuck
let
would.
them in the state. Don't want them in
Chuck
the state.
would be for his
MTSU grad.
Or they might have satellite camps in the state.
I think
very quickly. Is it an issue?
I think they'd have to go to 14 or 16 for Memphis to get in. If they go from 10 to 12, I don't think Memphis is in that first 2. And
But let's say they are. How big of a concern for football?
Well, if Texas wants to recruit, they can recruit kids in Nashville without Memphis being in the Big 12.
Sure, but Tennessee can recruit kids in Texas,
Yeah.
but Tennessee's better known.
We're behind the clock. Everybody gets to make their point. Jimmy.
I think it'll have a minimal impact. I think it will have an impact. I don't think it's huge because it's still Memphis football.
Chuck down
So-
there. The whole time he's doing this. Here's the deal. If you're the state of Tennessee, and you've only got so many kids, this isn't Florida, this isn't Georgia in terms of sending out college signees. If you're the state of Tennessee, you've only got this many kids. Let's say you go head-to-head with Memphis for one kid, and you lose him. That's an impact. To me, if I'm Butch Jones of Tennessee, I don't want to lose one guy. It doesn't have to be 10 guys to be an impact. So to me, anyone you lose, and Bob makes a good point, I think, if it's easier for Texas to tell a Memphis kid, you'll see Timmy because we're going to play in Memphis every other year. All right. I think it could be an issue. And if I'm Tennessee, I don't want anybody else in the SEC, in the state going to a big Power 5 conference, not to mention the money that Memphis would likely get, which could then be turned into better facilities, improving the Liberty Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying Tennessee should be biting its fingernails, but at the same time, Chuck doesn't even consider it. I'm sorry, I take things seriously.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Jimmy, what would you rank it?
3.
Yeah, I agree.
Minimal.
Yeah.
5. 5. You're both wrong. It's my show. What do you think of that, John? All right. When we come back, we're going to play the Family Feud. And trust me, folks, whenever we do a game show type thing here on the set, it always blows up in my face. You'll enjoy it. Come on back on the Sports Source.